welcome back to our channel. My name is Jordy.
And I'm Wisdom.
And if you made it here and clicked on this video, then you're looking to get fit, get strong, be healthy, all that fun stuff. So make sure to subscribe to our channel and hit the bell button and like this video so you can see more of this.
Today, we're gonna be talking about how lifting weights do not make a woman bulky. And this star right here, she is gonna be the one to tell you all about it. So, let's get into the video.
Will lifting make you bulky? First, we need to address what bulkiness is. Follow me to the lesson board. Bulky equals too heavy for your height. So for example, if you are 5'3" and 200 pounds, you are too bulky for your height. You weigh too much. So if you are 5'3" and 120 pounds, you're right around where you should be. So I would use the BMI chart as a good place to see where you should be, plus or minus 5 to 10 pounds. Because you have to account for the fact that if you lift weights, you're going to gain muscle. So the BMI chart does not account for all the muscle that you have. So that's why you may weigh a little bit more than what the chart says you should. Another thing that is really important, and a lot of people don't actually know this, is that muscle takes up way less space in your body than fat does. So let's talk about 10 pounds, right? If you were to gain 10 pounds of fat, let's just say this is our fat, okay? This is 10 pounds of fat. It is a big, giant plate, okay? This is a plate that we have in the gym. Whoop, okay. 10 pounds of fat, okay? This is a lot of room that's gonna be distributed throughout your entire body versus 10 pounds of muscle is only like this much. What? Huge difference, guys. So this is why when you're gaining muscle and you're not gaining fat at the same time, you're not going to get bulky. In a lot of cases, you will actually get smaller. So keep in mind, muscle is going to take up less space in your body than fat does. So another perfect example of how lifting weights and being strong does not make you bulky. I'm gonna show you guys a photo of me before I ever started lifting weights when I was only around 95, 98-ish pounds, right here. Bloop. Okay, so in this photo, I had little to no muscle on my body, and I spent and committed myself to about 4 years of getting stronger, progressive overload, and lifting heavy. So by the time that I had gone on stage for my show, I had the strength of 145-pound bench, 300-pound deadlift, 500-pound hip thrust, and a 70-pound pull-up, okay? Now, when I was stepping on stage, I was only about 100 pounds, which is around the same weight that I was before I ever started lifting, but you guys can see a clear difference between the two photos. Photo A, when I, hadn't lifted anything at all and was at my weakest, I had a little bit more body fat, I had way less muscle. We can say probably at least half the amount of muscle that I had when I was on stage. And photo B, I had all the muscle that I needed to before getting on that stage. I was a lot stronger, I was a lot leaner, and guys, this is like a 2-3 pound difference in body weight. So it just goes to show that you can be light and carry more muscle on your body and have a strong frame. So what I would recommend if you have a goal to build muscle and drop body fat, gain as much muscle as you possibly can first. Get as strong as you can first. Build the foundation that you need so that way when you do decide to cut down and drop body fat, you can reveal all of the hard work that you've already put in. Okay, so now I'm gonna actually show you guys some of my heaviest lifts that I've ever accomplished when I was around 115, 116 pounds. And I will be getting back to that weight. Side note, again, I am just a few days post-show. If you guys watched the previous video, hope you did. So the first video I'm gonna show you guys, I am deadlifting 295 pounds. So right around 300, which is a little over 2.5 times my body weight. And you'll see that even though I am the heaviest I've ever been, about 116 pounds, I'm still not bulky, right? And that's the whole point of this video, is we're trying to teach you ladies that even if you're training, as I was, 5-6 times a week with the goal of progressive overload, which you guys learned about, you're still not going to get bulky, right? Doing this naturally, right? We're talking about doing this natural. Now, if you're doing this unnaturally, I can't speak to that. I have a zero experience in that. So again, deadlifting 295 pounds, pretty crazy, right? A lot of weight, still a very small frame. And in the next video, I'm gonna show you guys, bloop, right here, I am benching 125 pounds for 4 reps. Now, keep in mind that with bench press, I mean, we're never, as women, we're never gonna be able to bench as much as a guy can, just because upper body strength wise, we're not gonna be able to lift as much as a dude can on our small frames. It's just, that's not something that we're gonna be able to lift like 200, 250, 250 pounds. I mean, that really is relative to how much you do weigh as well. So in the next video, I will show you hip thrusts. Now, as women, we can hip thrust a lot of weight. Your glutes carry a lot of muscle, a lot of power. Your hip thrusts, your squats, and your deadlifts. Your legs are going to be the densest muscles in your body, so you're gonna be able to lift a lot more just because your legs are gonna be able to carry a lot more power, more room for muscle growth there. So in the hip thrust video, which will be right here, bloop, I am hip thrusting 500 pounds for 3 reps. So as you notice, the less reps you do, we're talking like less than 5 reps, the heavier weight you can go, right? So if you're doing reps of 3, reps of 2, reps of 1, right? You're gonna be able to do a lot more than doing reps of 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, right? Those you're gonna go a little bit lighter, and it's good to incorporate both in your training, just a side note. In the next video, I'm gonna show you guys, I am doing a pull-up with 70 pounds attached to my body. So that's a total of my body weight and the weight attached, 185 pounds. So if I was an 185 pound man, then I would be able to do a singular pull-up, if we can put it in that perspective. So adding 70 pounds to my pull-up is gonna create that strong back, that really nice X shape, right? The shoulders coming out into the lats, right? The small waist, and then coming out into the hips and glutes, right? So it's really good to train your back, especially as a woman. Don't be afraid to train your back. And when you're training your back, you're gonna be able to target that stubborn back fat that we carry right in here. So if you are struggling with that, do your pull-ups, do your rows, do your one-arm rows, train your back, don't be afraid. A nice, strong back is gonna benefit you in even things like your deadlifts. The more that you can hold in your hands, right? The more you can stabilize your body for really any lift, like the squat, holding the squat bar behind your back, right? The more muscles you have, the more stable you're gonna be able to be when you're holding that amount of load. So it's good to really train your whole body to its maximum abilities, train harder than last time. This just goes to show that regardless of how heavy you train as a woman, you're never going to get huge. And again, keyword naturally, you're never gonna be able to get that big, even with training 5, 6, even 7 times a week. Heavy lifting, right? You're gonna be able to put on more muscle and still keep a smaller frame as long as you are, tracking your calories and not eating a bulking diet, which is like a huge surplus. Now keep in mind, everything that we're telling you goes for the grand majority of people, okay? But there is always that one person, that 0.0000001% of a person who has these elite genetics and they start lifting weights and they just start pounding on the muscle. For example, you go to Starbucks, okay? Yes, you. And you see a woman ordering her Frappuccino, whatever, and she's over 7 feet tall. How often does that happen? Think about it. It's super rare, okay? So we are speaking to the majority of people here, guys. So don't be afraid to lift weights, you won't get bulky. And if you are that person that just puts on all the muscle in the world, well, kudos to you. But if that is you, just don't train as heavy, maybe do less reps, and don't go to the gym as often. Problem solved. Okay, let's go over 3 different examples of what you should do based on where you're at right now. Okay, so 3 different scenarios. Let's talk about a woman who is 5'3", okay? So if you're about 5'3" and you're around 90 pounds, 95 pounds, as I was when I started, then it is okay to gain some weight throughout your journey. Build as much muscle as you possibly can. It's okay if you put on a little bit of body fat because you are still super light, okay? And it's okay to put on some size throughout your journey and then you can worry about cutting later. Scenario number 2 is if you're 5'3" and 120 pounds. Well, from here, you really can just focus on recomping. Okay, so when you recomp, you're gaining muscle and dropping body fat at the same time without really losing any weight throughout the process, right? So any muscle you gain, you're gonna be dropping in body fat as well. You're gonna be looking smaller while being relatively the same weight on the scale. Third scenario is if you are on the heavier side. So let's say you're about 170 pounds at 5'3", then it would be good to cut down in body fat and you can still gain some muscle in the process, but you do need to lose some weight. Otherwise you will look bulky if all you do is lift weights without actually being on a cutting diet. Then in that scenario, you would look bigger as you lift weights because that muscle would just be underneath that body fat and your frame would actually get larger. So in this case, you can lose body fat, drop weight, and still lift weights and still put on muscle mass. And in conclusion, does lifting weights make you bulky? No, that is a fitness myth and we've debunked it. Gone, X'd out, delete, goodbye. Okay, so if you're a woman and you wanna be toned, you wanna be strong, you wanna be fit, then go hit the weights because a strong body is a beautiful body. See you guys in the next one.